What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP, and if you're a returning subscriber like Rampage, Garchomp, thank you for the support. In today's video, we will be shoutcasting some battles for the Holiday Cup submitted to the channel by MXMXIX. We are going to be referring to as M for the purpose of this video. That is his name in the comments section. So thank you for the submission. The team he is utilizing in this video is going to be a double Flier strategy with Skarmory plus Talonflame. This backline, of course, is going to be very weak to Pokemon like Lanturn plus Alolan Graveler. So he has a very solid answer to those weaknesses in the lead in the form of Unova Stunfisk. Now there will be some Pokemon that create some issues, namely the ice types like Dugong and Lapras could be a little bit challenging in the lead spot, but Skarmory with Steel Wing is still going to provide some coverage there as a safe switch, and this team is going to operate as a standard ABB line where you want to lure out the hard counter to Talonflame using the Skarmory, opening up the opportunity for Talonflame to later sweep in the back. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please consider leaving a like on the video. It really helps the channel grow. Leave a comment down below. Now without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. Alright, so this trainer did mention that they'd like me to go over these battles in more of a sort of review session style. So we're going to be taking a look at this team. Unova Stunfisk in the lead, double Flier in the back, classic ABB strategy. Going to look to swap out into the Skarmory to lure out the potential hard counter, open up the opportunity for Talonflame to sweep in the back. We see a Froslass lead right here. I like swapping out into the Skarmory immediately. You have two great answers right here for the Froslass in the back. Staying in to catch the move isn't necessarily the greatest play because Avalanche is going to hurt both of these Pokemon still, or Shadow Ball, so I don't necessarily like staying in there with the Stunfisk. See a Talonflame come in, and actually getting that energy lead here allows the Skarmory to reach this Brave Bird, which should get the shield from the Talonflame, but bang, there it is. Talonflame doesn't respect the Brave Bird, gets taken out, ends up winning switch advantage right there. So that's a huge break because now you're going to be able to align that Talonflame onto the Froslass, keep this Stunfisk onto the Vigoroth instead. That's basically the win con at this point in the game. So Mud Bomb comes through, the Vigoroth is going to throw some energy right here, Stunfisk is going to shield up. Definitely win this game just with Talonflame saving the shields as well, but this is fine too. Gonna throw the Mud Bomb right here, nice catch from the opponent. The Talonflame will swap in now, and Talonflame doesn't necessarily have to shield right here, so could see this go through. It is going to be the Shadow Ball, which deals huge damage, but able to farm down. Gonna throw the Brave Bird here. I think throwing the Brave Bird makes sense if you will not reach two moves, because then you give less farm to the opposing Vigoroth. So less farm is obviously what we need in this situation, because it's going to come down to who could get to the moves faster right here. Gonna shield up the Body Slam, and now the Stunfisk is going to get the first shield with this Mud Bomb, hoping to outpace the Vigoroth to the second Mud Bomb. Not entirely sure if Body Slam would actually KO from this range, so things are looking pretty good, but Mud Bomb definitely will knock out the opponent, so able to take that first game right there. Off to a 1-0 start, actually off to a 2-0 start, because they did mention that the first game was not recorded, but as you saw at the start of the video, they did win that battle. Lapras right here is a very challenging lead, so you have a couple of options here. I think the best play is probably to throw a Discharge and then swap out into the Skarmory, so we're going to shield up this Surf right here. Of course, you need to swap out at some points because you have to lure out that hard counter for the Flyers, right? In this case, the opponent decides to swap out instead, so a bit of a late swap there comes in with the Skarmory right here, and of course, Dusclops does have access to Fire Punch, which is dealing super effective damage, and with Hex as the fast move, it is generating a lot of energy right here. So I don't necessarily like going for the Brave Bird here. I think in this situation, I do prefer going for the Sky Attack, because now you open the opportunity for the opponents to completely farm down with Hex without getting off a second Sky Attack. So I think that probably would have been better to just go for a Sky Attack right there, because now this thing is loaded on energy. Now granted, nothing is going to threaten the Talonflame too much here. Maybe if they have like Return, but in this case, it looks like they're running Fire Punch plus, I'd imagine, Ice Punch. Should be going for Ice Punch here if they do have that, but we'll see what they have. Could be Return, they just decided to bait here. They do have the Ice Punch, so gets the shield this time. And the Talonflame is going to try and KO here, but as you can see, this Dusclops got huge energy lead. Another punch coming through because of that farm down after the Brave Bird from the Skarmory. So Talonflame comes in to see the Marowak. This is going to be a Brave Bird right here, dealing huge damage. Oh my goodness, swapping out into the Stunfisk to finish it off. Very nice play right there. Gonna throw this Thunder Punch. Did not see what came back in. Misses some bubbles, but thankfully it is the Dusclops, so those bubbles did not matter. Lapras coming in now, and shields are down at this point. Discharge comes through. Should be able to survive one Surf right here, and that should mean that this Discharge will land and actually win this game. Just barely hangs on right there. So I like the way that they play this game. Apart from the Brave Bird on the Skarmory, I think it would have made more sense to go for the Sky Attack, because as you saw, that Dusclops gained a bunch of energy from the Hex farm down there, which could have been prevented just going through Sky Attack. Now, if the Brave Bird landed, obviously it'd be a different story, but again, they had 2 shields, very likely that they would use one. Shiftry lead right here, I would just swap out immediately. There's no point to give Shiftry an energy lead, because Shiftry, especially a Shadow Shiftry with an energy lead, is a huge problem. So going to let this go through here. Blast Burn comes through. I'm okay with the no shield right there. Makes sense. Come back in here with the Unova Stunfisk. And definitely want to be counting Charizard's moves right here, because I don't think this is actually a Blast Burn, but it is going to shield it if it is a Blast Burn. No, it's only a Dragon Claw. And is going to overfarm a little bit. Probably could have overfarmed a bit more here as well before throwing this Discharge, but this is fine. Discharge comes through, takes out the Charizard. Now Shiftry comes back in, has a bunch of energy because we stayed in that earlier matchup. Leaf Blade basically KO swaps out into the Talonflame, and now down a shield right here. This game is basically over. So gonna no shield here. You have to call the Flame Charge bait. That's correct. And right here, if you're gonna go Flame Charge, you have to carry on with Flame Charge the entire way now. I think the first move, it's either you go for the Brave Birds just to win, or you just go straight Flame Charge from this point on. So the next Flame Charge comes through. Your only way of winning here is actually to outpace the 2 Flame Charge. They're never going to let this Brave Bird go through. It just makes no sense. So they are going to shield. Ends up surrendering right there. Loses that game, totally fine. 3-1 heading into this next battle right here. So we got Unova Stunfisk into a Golbat. This is a very nice lead to see. And the opponent is going to stay in here. Okay, this is interesting. They try to catch the move onto Obstagoon. Is going to swap out without throwing any energy. I might have just... I probably would have thrown one move here at the Obstagoon as they get the boost. You hate to see it. Only because this matchup isn't that great for Skarmory. And as you could see here, the opponent is ahead on energy. Gonna go straight for the Brave Bird right here. I think after you get the boost, they're always going to shield it up. And this allows them to farm down, which isn't great, but they probably would have committed to the farm down anyway, so I'm okay with the Brave Bird right there. Gonna come back in with the Stunfisk and going to no shield right here. The Night Slash comes through and gonna throw this Discharge. Opponent's probably gonna shield once here, maybe. They do have the boosted attack, so they do shield. They both shields, and over tap right there. May have been able to get that Discharge through first. Night Slash comes through, another boost. So going to throw this energy immediately right here. Boostagoon is absolutely going off in this battle, able to farm down, but those counters did a lot of damage, as you could see. Golbat comes back in, going to throw the Discharge here. This will be dealing super effective damage, not enough to KO. The opponent staying in, simultaneous swap into the Talonflame. We see a Marowak in the back. I like over farming right here because no move from Marowak is going to KO. Shadow Ball will hurt, but you could still over farm quite a bit. Get to 100 energy here. Brave Bird is going to KO. And then basically should be able, yes, there is the Incinerate, able to land this Brave Bird. Very well played. The combo play, Big Mac and the fries, bang, there it is. Golbat gets taken out. A solid performance in that first set of battles. Manages to go 4-1 with this team. Let's hop into set number 2. So jumping into the second set of battles right here. Team looked pretty solid in that first one. Classic ABB as you saw. Let's see how this first matchup goes right here. Unova Stunfisk into an Alolan Ninetales. So again, a situation where I'll probably just look to see what move it is. It is Charm, and then swap out into the Skarmory right here. Don't like giving the energy lead. Coming in Talonflame is fine too. We see the Obstagoon come in. I mean, you can come in with either one, Skarmory or Talonflame. Doesn't really matter too much. Gonna throw the Flame Charge right here at the Obstagoon. And going to shield the first move. Usually I like letting the first one go through, but this is totally fine. You'll have to shield at some point anyways. The reason I like shielding the second time is only because in case they do get the boost, you'd rather shield the one that does more damage. But in this case, it actually works out very well because they don't reach a second move. So perfect scenario right here. Get met by another Talonflame coming through. And this is a tough call. I don't know about the Brave Bird. I think I'd rather go Flame Charge here because now you allow the opponent to completely farm down with the Incinerate, which would not have happened if you went for the Flame Charge instead. Now, if you didn't get the shield, obviously Brave Bird would be the optimal move, but I think in most cases, just going Flame Charge there, likely to see the shield come up, probably the safer bet because you'll get to a second move anyways, or force the opponents to throw their energy. So don't really agree with the Brave Bird in that particular scenario. We can see that the Talonflame is doing a lot of damage right here. Weather Ball is going to hurt the Stunfisk, but able to swap out. It's basically in the red now. Skarmory should be able to completely farm down here with Steel Wing, which it does. Talonflame comes back in, able to reach this Brave Bird, which is going to knock out the Talonflame right here. You love to see it, but what is hiding in the back? Oh, it's nothing. That's the last Pokemon actually. So GG's right there. I thought the opposite was the safe switch. Very well played game right there. The Skarmory able to farm down and take out the Talonflame. Speaking of Talonflame, here it is in the next battle. We got Unova Stunfisk. Opponent swaps out immediately. Now they did not register and incinerate, so that's important to remember here. They are dry in energy. But this is a pretty tough matchup because Unova Stunfisk is pretty bad for our backline. And they're actually running Mud Shot as the fast move as well. So it's actually pretty bad for the Unova Stunfisk as well. We're going to lose that match in the 2 shields. So at some point, gonna swap out here into the Talonflame and actually able to get to this Flame Charge before the next move comes through, which is a huge break. Does see the shield come up from the Stunfisk. Decision to make here. Does decide to shield. It's a little bit risky. Can you outpace to the Flame Charge? Able to get there. So that is very nice. Gonna land this move. The opponent does shield that up. And this is going to take out the Talonflame. Now, that was CMP ties, so that is very fortunate right there. Stunfisk will come back in. I'd probably look to overfarm maybe 1 Thundershock before throwing here, 1 or 2. I believe that they're not close to a move right now. Mud Bomb comes through, takes out the Stunfisk. It's a Victory Bell in the back, so going to throw this Mud Bomb right here and then swap out into the Skarmory. Now, that did give the opponent some energy right there. Maybe swapping out to Skarmory immediately would have made more sense here, because now Flame Charge is going to KO. No, it's not going to KO. Going to get to this Brave Bird right here. Brave Bird is going to KO, so maybe considering undercharging here might be the play, but you have to get like the perfect amount where you could farm down the Talonflame and then get to the Mud Bomb. I think that's the only win con here. If you could somehow undercharge that Brave Bird to the point where you could get maybe like 2 or 3 Thunder Shocks in before the Talonflame gets to a move, then land that Mud Bomb on the Victory Bell. It's very, very difficult to do, but that was probably the only win con in that scenario. Stunfisk into Wigglytuff right here. Pretty bad lead for Stunfisk. I mean, it's not the worst, but 2 good answers here. Does swap out into the Talonflame. We see Alolan Graveler come in, so this is what you want to see come in here. Alolan Graveler. Now, you don't want to see 2 of these, but you do want to see this come in. And the good thing about Talonflame here is that you force the opponent to throw energy, or else the next Flame Charge after the boost is basically going to KO. So they are forced to throw the energy. Stunfisk will come back in here. I like to overfarm quite a bit in this situation. Even if it's a Stone Edge, it's not going to KO. Stone Edge, yeah, I mean, it's not even close to KOing, as you can see. Gets to about 100 energy right here. Gonna throw the Mud Bomb. Looking to undercharge. I like this play, but unfortunately, still enough to take out the Graveler. Swaps out immediately into the Skarmory. It is a Gengar in the back. Now, this isn't great for Skarmory, but thankfully, with 2 shields, Skarmory can actually win this game right here. So, gonna shield up the Shadow Punch. And going to commit to the complete farm down here. Use both shields. A little bit of lag right there, but it's totally fine. Shield this up. Hope they're not at another move, and should be able to throw back-to-back moves at this Wigglytuff, which will force both shields, because remember, this Skarmory is running Steel Wing, so it can't afford to not shield here, because Steel Wing will absolutely chunk away at this Wigglytuff, and they're also going to be forced to throw their energy here. So Stunfisk should be in a good spot to win this game. Ice Beam will knock out the Skarmory, but the Stunfisk should be able to come in here and get to 2 Mud Bombs, which will take out the Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff generates energy very, very slowly with Charm, so it's not going to threaten you with another charge move. Stunfisk going to win this game right here. Very well played. That was an example of a pretty rough lead, luring out the hard counter for your backline, and then basically capitalizing in the end with shields. Let's hop into the next battle. We got Unova Stunfisk into a Talonflame. Very nice lead right here. Opponent likely to swap out, but it looks like they're going to stay in. So when they stay in, oftentimes it's going to mean that they do have a second Pokemon in the back that does not want to see Unova Stunfisk. The shield comes up. the opponent's over farming quite a bit. Actually gonna have to burn 2 shields right here. So let's see what they do. They do burn both shields, and Stunfisk does not need to shield the first move right here. Gonna let the flame charge go through. Now they will need to shield the second one. If this is not CMP tie, you want to hold off from throwing the move right here, because as you see, they're going to swap out after throwing there. So this energy doesn't necessarily go to waste per se, but could have been better utilized maybe in the end game. Now Skarmory comes in here. Honestly, that discharge line on the Vigoroth is pretty good here, because now it's basically in sky attack range. Gonna take another body slam right here, over farm a little bit more before throwing that sky attack. I don't necessarily like the idea of committing to the farm down here. Yeah, I really don't like this, because you'd rather preserve this shield. So you're gonna get extremely low, and then you just sort of have to throw blindly depending on what comes in, because you're so low. So I think having that second shield is more important here. As you can see, you're only gonna get off 1 move anyways after that complete farm down. So I think it makes a lot more sense there to just throw the sky attack at the Vigoroth, preserve that shield instead, and you're still gonna win this game right here, but it would have been a lot more comfortable had you gone the other way, because Talonflame versus Talonflame, Brave Bird here isn't going to KO, but it's gonna put you very low. Thankfully, Flame Charge now after the defense drop is going to KO, so the opposing Talonflame is taken out. Now Volt Switch does register first, and thankfully they are not at a move yet. Skarmory able to Steel Wing down before that Volt Switch registers. So you can see that game got extremely close. Could have been a lot more comfortable, but still manages to win the game. Stunfisk into Lapras right here. We've seen this once already. At some point you will have to swap out into the Skarmory, unless the opponent swaps out first, which they do in this case. Greedence comes in, gonna throw the Mud Bomb right here, and then look to swap out. Okay, so gonna take a move first. It's okay. Could be Body Slam, could be Crunch. And the Stunfisk builds up to about close to discharges basically, and then swaps out into the Talonflame. Body Slam comes through. Should be more or less in Flame Charge KO range. They'll probably get off 1 more Body Slam after this actually, I believe, but Talonflame will survive. Yeah, they do survive that. And Talonflame will survive this Body Slam as well, and then can commit to the farm down with Incinerate. Very nice. Lapras will come back in. Shouldn't have a Surf ready. They swapped out pretty quickly. I'm just gonna go straight for the Brave Bird here. I like this play. This is a situation where you do want to be going for the Brave Bird. The opponent does shield that up and is going to get farmed down. Totally fine. Come in with the Stunfisk, able to throw this discharge right here. Opponent does not shield that up. And now Stunfisk has 2 shields. You're going to want to start shielding up right here. Lapras will probably try and swap out at some point, but actually swaps out to Skarmory instead. That's okay. Trevenant in the back though is a bit of an issue here, because you are not running Air Slash. So the opponent will shield this up, and you're in a spot where you kind of have to shield up the Shadow Ball here, even if they bait, because you need to do chip damage here against the Trevenant. That's going to be a huge blow right there, because now they have the shield, but you're not in the range where a discharge will knock out the Trevenant. So I think shielding the Shadow Ball there, even if it was the bait, would have allowed you to get a bit more damage, where you would have put this Trevenant basically in discharge range. Maybe that could have been a potential win condition, but does end up losing that game. Very well played though, and overall a 3-2 set, 7-3 overall. So those were the battles in the Holiday Cup featuring a Stunfisk double flyer strategy. Huge shout out to M for the submission, and I hope you found this shoutcast useful. ABB teams are very powerful for the Go Battle League format, so it's highly recommended using a team like this in your battles. You do have to remember the importance of swapping out at some point into one of your backline Pokemon in order to learn out the hard counter. That's basically one of the win conditions for an ABB team to work. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.